I guess the last part of the question is, so is there ever a reason to cheat then? You know, like they always say, well, you can do everything right, and so he's still gonna cheat, or there's never an excuse to cheat. Like,
No.
When you start rationing out the sex, when you start, using it like Ferg, I think you said it, when you start using it as a leverage piece, it's time to go cheat.
I want rather.
What up? It's Three Brothers No Sense. I'm Tavares Ferguson, aka Ferg. Join my co-host Razi and Buff. Fellas, tell them what's on your minds.
What's up, y'all? The only thing, or the first thing that I want to talk about is All-American Homecoming. I know we've talked about All-American and how it's a pretty good show, especially it being on CW. But the episode of All-American Homecoming, they did a preview episode of the spinoff that's happening where I can't remember the old girl's name, but one of them's going to an HBCU. And when I say it is like super HBCU feel to it, to me, it's what Grownish should have been. And so it's a really, really good take on the HBCU experience. All-American in general has kind of been going full Black Lives Matter anyway. And they doubled down on it with this Homecoming spinoff. So if you guys haven't seen that episode, go check it out. I'm pretty excited for the actual full spinoff and series that's going to come in. I think it's coming in around September, but be looking for that. But Ferg, did you see that they shut down Bagram?
Yes. Yeah.
Bruh, the memories of Bagram Air Force Base.
Yeah. I mean, no, that wasn't the first time. Was that the first time we got rocketed in Bagram, or we were in Salerno?
Yeah, like day 2. Yeah.
Welcome to war.
Yeah, and then you went and was that you that went into the minefield because you wanted to take a picture with the?
No, of course not. That definitely wasn't me. That sounded like some you and Cookie and Whit were trying to do. You know, I don't subscribe to that. That was one of those situations like, hey, that's your kicking your ass.
No, I think it was. I think it was Stout. Actually, it was like a bunch of downed aircraft or whatever, and there's a minefield leading into the aircraft, and he wanted to take a picture with it, and it had the little thing to say it minefield, but he was like, "Oh, it can't be that bad. I'm sure I can make it," and he wanted to go and take a picture with the downed aircraft and
the
stuff.
fact that you thought that was me? How long have you known me? I'm the most we ain't doing no dumb. I don't believe in it. Bro, you wanted to go on those missions, and the closest thing we did is we had those remote control cars that we bought and sent out into the minefield. They didn't blow up, they just got too far to bring them back.
We couldn't bring them back.
Yeah. But no, Whit wanted to go get his remote control car. Remember that one?
Yeah.
That was it. But no, bruh, me in a minefield? Bro, I wasn't volunteering for nothing. I didn't volunteer for anything stateside, let alone at war, so got me messed up trying to go into a minefield, trying to take pictures for man. If you don't get Buff, what's going on? I'm over Razi.
Yeah, apparently, there's a section of the Black community that's pissed off at Juvenile, man. He redid back that thing up with Vax that thing up. Just wanted to see how y'all feel about that, because some people feel like it's once again pressuring people to get the vaccine that don't want it. So I get that, but I didn't feel like he was pressuring people. It was just like an attempt at a cool way to encourage people to get it. But what were you guys' thoughts on it, if you've seen it?
I'm gonna stop you. Okay, there's a couple of things. First of all, if Juvenile is pressuring you to do anything, you need to reevaluate your life. That's one. It's just, man, now I gotta get the vaccine because Juvenile said it in a rap song. Get out of here. 2, you said a cool way. I thought that was so horrible. I watched maybe 3.5.
A cool way.
Okay. My bad. I misunderstood. I watched 3.5. I heard the beat drop, and then I heard whenever they say back. I don't even know if I got to the chorus. I just saw where they were going with it, and I was like, I'm over this. I might have got
it was
5
pretty
seconds
bad.
in.
The verses were horrible. It was bad. Like,
I'll take your word for it. 5 seconds tops.
Yeah, whoever in the White House that like pushed that and said, yeah, let's do that, and reached out and did all that coordination and all that, they need a black friend to be like, nah, bruh, let's not do that. Because I'm sure no black person was like, this is it.
This was a national. This wasn't just like no.
You know how they have the little like you support, like the White House is pushing it, so they're gonna like reach out to some nonprofit or something like that to be like, hey, can you make this thing happen? And then nonprofit make it happen. That's usually how those types of things work, especially something like this where it's supposed to be like this national attempt. Because you don't use like just to use back that ass up. The sample of it in general, it costs a lot of money. So to say, yeah, I want Juvenile to actually show up and Manny actually to show up and do a verse for it, they paid for that.
Video. They pretty much redid.
And so I ain't mad at. I'm not mad at Juvie. Actually, I ain't mad at Juvie. I ain't mad at
I
Manny.
ain't mad at the check. I ain't mad at the. I never get mad at the check. I never get mad at the check.
So my take on it is, I mean, if 1-2 people changed their mind and felt pressured and went ahead and got the vax, hey, I'm all for it any way we can. It was no different than the strippers with they supporting, was it Joe Biden that they supported or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
Or Kamala, I can't remember who it was.
Was that Magic City?
You know, so yeah, the Magic City strippers, they were like, go vote. Yes. So I'm all for it. Whatever it takes to engage a certain community that normally isn't engaged, whatever, man. So it's an attempt. Razi?
What community is that?
I don't know what community they was looking for in this, like, vax that thing up, because it just, I don't know. But again, it got us talking, right? We're talking about it, and we're talking about vaccine and everything like that. Well, so I mean, I guess it kind of did what they tried to do. It
became a pop song down there, so it's not. I mean, obviously it was aimed at black people, but I mean that song reached a lot of white kids too. So maybe it got some of them thinking about it.
Yeah,
I was happy to see Mia X though.
Yeah, maybe they were reaching. They were trying to help out. You know, Mobile, Alabama is right next to Louisiana, and you know, so it was really big here. Alabama just slipped to last in number of vaccinations, so. You know,
we're gonna be back
maybe
on
it'll
lockdown by fall. But I was happy to see Mia X. I like seeing Mia X, man. So just hate it. Yeah,
she was in it. Yeah, I didn't get that far. I had to turn it off. It was bad, bro.
Wait. It was bad. Hold on. And I agree, it was bad. But this is coming from someone that watched and suggested "Let Me Smang It."
Get him.
Are you kidding me? Right now.
Let Me Smang It is funny.
Oh my
it's
God.
A parody.
Okay. All right.
I watched it. I watch it based on it being funny. Like I don't feel they were trying to be funny.
Remember that when we did that episode. Like who even remembers that? You enjoyed it. You watched it more than one time, sir.
I posted it a couple times.
He shared it with people. He sent it to people. That's up there with "Tell Me What That Thing Smell Like" from. That was like, what was that? What's the BET After Dark thing?
Uncut.
Yeah, that's like an uncut classic.
Let me smell it.
That's good. Let me smang it.
Girls in my world. You remember that one?
Yes, and they're all horrible. And I thought I would never think of that song again. Now it's in my head. I appreciate you, Razi. Thank you. Tell us a joke or something.
All right, I'm gonna get Sophie to do it. She's gonna help us out. Hold on one second.
Hey, Sophie.
Hello.
I'm gonna be down there this week. Oh, I'm gonna be down there this week.
Yay!
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 Yay! I'll be down there Wednesday.
Yeah.
So Wednesday and Thursday. So hope to see you and we can have fun and do things that are funny.
So much fun.
So much fun. Should we invite your dad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He lives there. Of course we have to.
Yeah, by default. Yeah, he's not as cool. Don't tell him I said that. Don't tell him I said that. He can't hear us. So that's our little secret, right?
He'll know that you said that.
Stop. Now you're making us. Now he's on to us, Sophie. It's our little secret, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, me, you, and Byron are the cool ones. Remember that, all right?
Okay.
All righty. All right, you got a joke for us?
Yeah.
All righty, I'm ready. I'm going to get it today. I feel it. I'm feeling lucky.
Okay. Maybe if restaurants hired taller people, they wouldn't be short-staffed during the pandemic.
That is true. That is very true. That is very true.
That is true. That is very true. That's very true. That is a fact. That's pretty true. See, I like that one. I like that one. You're getting better, Sophie.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to see you, and we shall have fun.
So much fun.
So much fun.
More fun than ever.
More fun than ever. And I guess we'll invite your dad.
We have to.
Yeah, I know, because he's going to hear this, right?
Yeah. He edits the videos.
Yeah, he does. He's pretty cool, though. Not as cool as us, but he's pretty cool.
He is pretty cool.
He is pretty cool. Yeah. All right. Well, I will see you this week, young lady.
Okay. I'm going to see you this week.
Okay, that's what's up.
Correction.
Sir. Goodbye.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I think that was the friendliest beef ever. I don't know.
I'll see you next week, sir.
Yeah, I don't even think I said what my week was like, man. It's been a crazy week, man. Just work, trying to get my fiscal ended last week. So this is the first day of the new fiscal for my job, and just trying to wrap my mind around that. We're making a lot of changes and trying to get rid of this PTO. People, please use your PTO. I lost a lot of PTO this year. A lot. Just take that vacation, because I try to do too much. I'll try to do those clever long weekends. I'll take off Friday and Monday and fly out Thursday night. And so now I got a 4-day weekend, and look up at the end of the year and I still got 20 days of PTO left. It's like, why don't you just take the week off? So I don't know. But outside of that, everything's good with me. Been a crazy week. And so I want to jump into it. You guys have a question, or do you want me to go first? How do you want to do this week?
You got it. Go ahead, man.
Alrighty. So this is almost a blast from the past, but I'm going to kind of put a spin on it a little bit. So do you remember a few weeks ago, we had the conversation about the husband and wife that had the podcast and talking about sex being a chore and all that stuff, right?
Yep.
Well, I posted that because I was talking to one of my friends and we were having a conversation with it. And so I tagged them and the conversation started flowing again. But I'm taking it to another part of one of the comments. It was about cheating. And it was, girl, you can do everything right. He's still going to cheat. And it wasn't even the cheating part that got to me.
Oh, yeah.
It was, you can do everything right. So I think we've all dated before. And this is not even my question. So I just want to get a quick, have you ever done everything right in a relationship?
No.
I doubt it. No.
You know, and so in saying that, what is your thoughts on that saying, you can do everything right? That's first part of it. What do people mean when they say that? And how does that thought process affect the relationship? When
people say that, they're basically saying that in general terms, what the so-called norm is, that they're not cheating. They are giving their all to their significant other. They are doing it. They're not just saying, I love you. They're showing it. They're I guess, spontaneously surprising them with, gifts that isn't just on birthdays and holidays, things like that. I think a side question though is, are they really doing all of that stuff? Like, you can think you're doing everything right, but you may just be doing the bare minimum. Like, if you're married, you're just cooking and asking how your day is. Okay, but are you treating him? Are you surprising him with things? Are you, asking him, is there anything you can do better? I don't think anyone can ever do everything right, because that essentially is saying you're perfect. And that's why I said, I think on the last episode with the ladies, marriage is a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly fight, because you're never going to be perfect at it. You're gonna fall short somewhere. It's important to, I think, try to realize and recognize some of those shortcomings and try to work at it, and just always fighting to not be complacent in a relationship. But to go back to your original question, I think people are just essentially saying that, hey, I'm not cheating. I love him, I love her, and that should be enough. When that person, I know, as you said before, Ferg, you may be doing everything right in your mind, but are you doing everything right according to their standards? And I think that's what people need to really figure out and find out from their significant other, instead of just assuming, well, I'm not out here in these streets. I make sure you have a hot meal, or if you're a man, I keep a roof over your head. I keep all the bills paid, but you need to make sure you're doing the other things that person really enjoys and appreciates too.
Yeah, I would say they're being hyperbolic with it. Like, it's one of those things that they are taking it to the far extreme of saying you can do everything right and the man will still cheat. So they're using that as a foil to say that guy's still going to cheat no matter what. I don't think they're using that phrase to say that they are doing everything perfect, or they are perfect, or they're doing everything in their relationship. What they're saying is that, no matter what you do, that guy that was going to cheat will go and cheat. But I do think there are people out there that think that they are doing everything right in their relationship and never become introspective and say, okay, am I giving everything to my spouse? Am I fulfilling every need that they have? Do we talk about that? Like, I used the example when Jen was telling me about how, she thinks I'm the greatest guy in the world or whatever, but she was still kind of feeling some type of way about me not really being in church. You know what I mean? And so it was one of those things that, like, okay, I think I'm doing everything, but it's still something that she's longing for. There's something that she wants me to do more of in this relationship. Now, can I give it to her or not? I don't know, because, that I just wasn't really in that space like that. But I tried my damnedest. I did everything that I could to make her feel comfortable in that. And so for me, I think I was doing everything, but at the same time, she still had a gap that she needed. So I think there's this idea of, like Byron said, you have to have that conversation and be able to talk to them to say, okay, am I giving you everything? Am I actually providing everything? And get that confirmation from them. Because if you don't get it from them, then you don't know if you're giving everything to that relationship and you are doing everything right. But I don't think the phrase hurts the relationship, because if they're using that as a phrase, they're using that just to support their argument of the guy's still going to cheat.
Okay. I think for me, it starts with accountability. I think you guys have been nicer than I'm actually used to you guys being on that subject, because I think if you look, for me, when I look at human nature, most people don't want to take accountability for their part. If you talk about a breakup, they're going to tell you everything they did and how they're not even the victim. Like, it's all his fault. It's all her fault. You very rarely see the accountability piece on, this is why this relationship didn't work. Accept me for who I am. You can't love me for who I am, then you're not strong enough to be with a real woman, or like, it's those are things, and it's like, well, maybe why does he have to be so strong? Why does he have to be this? Why should she just appreciate you for putting a roof over her head? She's a whole human being that needs more than just your financial obligations. She needs somebody who's going to love her the right way and stuff like that. Like, because I hear guys like, man, man, she don't even got to work, man. I buy her this, I buy her that. She wants, okay, great. But mentally, emotionally, what are you doing for her? A lot of times we don't take accountability. And I think that's the biggest thing is it's hard to grow when we don't take accountability. That's why I always say the me that I want to be versus the me that I am, two totally different people. The me that I want to be for my wife and kids is not who I am. Like, I want to be more not emotionally available, like affectionately available, if that's even a term. There's things I want to do. I want to be more emotionally aware, more emotionally sensitive. That's where some places I struggle. I understand that. But I can't say, and I feel like I'm a pretty good guy. I'm a pretty good husband, pretty good father, but I can never say I did everything right. And it's so hard for people to, from what I see, to take accountability for that. But I think a lot of people don't want to say, I was a part of this. To go back to the question, I'm going to tell you why you didn't do everything right. Your first mistake was you picked a cheater. That's it. It's just like when you remember we were kids and you were picking teams, sometimes you can pick the wrong person. Are you a bad person for picking the wrong person? No, you just picked the wrong person. That was a mistake. The first thing you did was pick the wrong person. That was what you didn't do right. This guy is not capable of being in a monogamous relationship. She's not capable of being in an open relationship where she can share ideas and be supportive of your needs as well. Like, you chose this person. She's not capable of giving you what you need. You chose this person. He's not capable of giving what you need or expect. And maybe you're not capable of giving them what they need either. We have to be more open that we're not perfect. We have to accept our faults and just stop saying that whole always accept me for who I am. People aren't trying to change you, but you have to realize that we all have quirks and faults that we can improve in. We all work. We get reviews for work. We're always trying to get better. You can't just tell your job like, okay, you know what? I hit my number this year, but they're like, hey, Razi, you hit your number this year. Like, we want you to keep getting better. It's a what have you done for me lately type world. And you can't just get stagnant. You can't get stagnant at work. You can't get stagnant in a relationship. You can always get better. Not saying those little quirks are faults. Those quirks might just not work in a relationship.
Yeah. And like you said, I mean, you got to continually get better because that person's continuing to grow. Like, so often we hear the whole thing, we grew apart. You grew apart because that person was growing one way and you weren't either supporting them and moving with them, or you guys really did grow apart and not really think to come back and synchronize together.
You remember a few months ago, a long time ago, we actually rated ourselves as spouses and parents. I don't think anybody gave themselves like an A+, like I'm perfect. And I feel like I've known both of you guys. You're great husbands, great parents, but there still was room for growth. People, I guess the last part of the question is, so is there ever a reason to cheat then? Like they always say, well, you can do everything right. And so he's still going to cheat, or there's never an excuse to cheat. Like,
No.
When you start rationing out the sex, when you start, using it like Ferg, I think you said it. When you start using it as a leverage piece, it's time to go cheat.
I wasn't ready for that. I'm gonna say no and yes. No and yes. I know both answers is terrible. I'm gonna say no because no matter what the so-called reason is for you to go cheat, then that's your opportunity to exit that relationship. If you feel like she's rationing out the nanny and you've had several conversations with her, like, listen, I have needs, I need to be with you on an intimate level as well as everything else in this relationship, she's still not giving it up, then you need to make that decision to leave. However, that's why I say no. However, it's not always that easy to just leave. You know what I mean? Like, especially if you got a house together, kids, and a whole lot of, life-changing decisions when, if you feel like, well, Shorty at work has been looking at me and been asking me, and I know I can get it. I know she ain't gonna say anything. And so that's when the answer is, I've asked my significant other over and over. He still won't address these needs. So I gotta do what I gotta do. So that's why it's no and yes for me.
And it's cheaper to keep her.
That is.
It is cheaper to keep her.
And it's cheaper to keep her on top of that. Yeah.
I'm gonna say I don't condone cheating, but I get it. We use a lack of sex. I don't think it's just a lack of sex.
Oh no,
there's so many things that go into that.
Oh yeah.
It's I've seen people who are completely belittled in their relationship. Their wife doesn't respect them. They love her to death. She loves him to death, but she doesn't respect him. It's this cheating to me once again, and I think we put it on another level because there's a physical part to it. It's just as bad as so many other things we do in our relationships. When you're continuously disrespectful, when there's mental or physical abuse in there, like it's so many things, and people don't leave. You can love your wife to death, but she doesn't make you feel like she cares or she loves you, or vice versa with your husband. He doesn't make you feel it, but you love him, and somebody's giving you that attention that you didn't even realize you were missing. Not condoning it, but I understand. I understand that people, we're going to have sex. Oh, we'll have sex once a month then. So, you can shut up. Nobody wants to be in that situation. Nobody wants to be not appreciated or not sought after and stuff like that. It's a connection. We as men have feelings and desires as well. It's not all physical. It's the fact that person wants to be with you, that still finds you attractive. That's huge. I know I'm going to get pushed back on that. You can leave. So can you. What made you stop having sex with him? There's something that he's not giving you. So you not having sex with him, to me, is just as bad as him cheating. You've drawn your line in the stand. He's drawn his line in the stand, saying you both made a decision to how to go about your relationship. So, all right, fellas, let's keep the party moving. Who's up next?
I'll go because mine is a little bit about relationships and everything. So I'll stay in that same theme. There's a post going around that talks about, it's a guy and he's talking about how women don't need a man and the reasons why, right? He's talking about how women can get checking accounts now. Jobs, they don't need a guy for a mortgage anymore. Like they can own their own house and everything. And so, marriage rates are going down, and he was kind of explaining why. And then I saw another article that said that we have hit the highest point since like the 1930s that have two-parent households. And they've changed a little bit of the definition of a two-parent household because it doesn't necessarily mean that both parents are living in the house. They're saying that both parents are engaged in the child's life. I like that because I do feel like you don't necessarily have to be in the same household to say that we're in a two-parent household for my child. My child has a parent, a father and a mother, or, two moms sometimes or whatever. But it's, there are two people that are watching this child. And that I think got over like the 70% mark. And like I said, that's the first time since like the 30s that they've shown that. And truthfully, it's probably more correct now because in the 1930s, everybody wasn't filling out surveys and censuses and things like that. So, we're probably more aligned and even better off than we were in the 30s at this point. But I wanted to ask you guys thoughts on, the fall of the Black family or the perceived fall of the Black family, and really kind of going back to my whole independent thing, but why women don't need a man. So I want you guys rethink our thoughts on why women don't need us.
You want to go first, Ferg? This is kind of like your wheelhouse.
Nope.
So essentially your question is why don't women need a man, correct?
Yep.
Because
or if you disagree and you think they do, say that.
They don't need a man. They can live now, but is that a happy, easy life. I would tend to think that it's not. But they're able to go about life these ways because they have a lot of rights and privileges that they didn't have, 50, 100 years ago or more. Like you say, they can get jobs now. They can get their own home. They can do everything that requires you to live in a world without the help of a man. However, as I always say, you can drive a foot with a car, but that doesn't mean you should. You can do it, but I don't think you should because we all need some type of companionship. And obviously, I'm speaking for straight women. Like, if you're a homosexual woman, then I would assume you would want a woman in your life. But we all need some type of affection and companionship. And yeah, you can do it, but what kind of life is that? You know what I mean? Like, we only get one, and that just doesn't seem like a great life.
I think you're going to put some pushback on that, bro. Yeah. They don't need us. It's just that simple. I mean, if you just look at the facts, women have all the opportunities that a man has. And that's just, and I'm saying all, but there's always going to be some stand up. Now more challenges might come with that because, it's not equal. It's not equitable right now. Women do have challenges that, but I don't even want to get into that, but they can have all the successes that a man has. And so I think it's twofold. And I'm talking about our Black women. So our Black women can be just as successful, if not more successful than Black men. And right now, I think when it comes to entrepreneurship, college graduation rates, our Black women are crushing us. So that's one side of it. I mean, as far as just like graduation rates, I'm not talking about pay and all this stuff and all. I'm just saying like they have opportunities. And so they know this, they've seen the success of that, and it's appealing. On the other side, you have like first generation college students. So my mom, grandmother, they didn't go to college. So you see this is what I can be. I can do all these great things as a single Black woman. I can do whatever I want to do. Then on the other end, even at my worst, I can still do it by myself. I've seen so many single, independent Black women do it on their own. So they've seen both sides of the spectrum. I can do it on my own and struggle. I can do it on my own and thrive. But either way, I can do it on my own. Like there's a lot of examples, and I guess it goes against what Razi's saying, we're at a 70% rate, but there's a lot of examples, I think maybe in past generations where they saw that they could still do it on their own. Either you can struggle and do it on your own and still be okay, or you can thrive and do it on your own and be okay, but you can definitely do it on your own. And I don't think they've seen enough examples of what it could look like if we do it together. There's Razi, your family is that's close to me, one of the rare examples of what it looks like doing it together. Even from a male standpoint, my wife hasn't seen that. My siblings haven't seen that. So for them, it's kind of like, hey, I can do this on my own. Byron, I know you want to combat that. You were shrugging your shoulders and
I mean, well, because we always hear, Black women are the most educated. And it's not that I push back on it. I always feel like certain numbers need deeper diving into. I think because I've heard that they're the most enrolled, not necessarily the most educated. And when you say they're the most entrepreneurial, yeah, they are. But this pandemic showed us how vulnerable they are because a lot of those entrepreneurships and stuff are like when you have excess of money that you can splurge on things, or like a lot of them are in like hair owning shops and stuff like that. Not the type of jobs that are like in like the STEM type of field or whatever, to where you can't really get rid of that job. So a lot of our Black women suffered during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm. Oh, agreed. What I'm just saying is, for me, it's all about the opportunities that they have present. That's my whole point. Yeah. They've seen that, hey, they might be number 2, they might be number 3. 50 years ago, they weren't even on the freaking map. What I'm saying is they know that as a black woman, they can be successful. If they own a chain of hair stores, hair salons, they're selling freaking Tohisha Noni or freaking what's the little tea? The get quick, the Slim Fast tea or corsets or whatever.
Herbalife or whatever.
Like yeah. The Herbalife, whatever it is they're doing, they know that they have opportunities that wasn't present, so they can be successful. They can make it. The women in the past, like they almost had to have. They can't buy a house. They can't do this. They couldn't do certain things. There were the one-offs, but it was tough to be a woman and not.
So our answer seemed. Our answer seemed alike. What is it that you think I'll get the pushback on? Because I said they can. They don't need a man, but it doesn't seem ideal.
Oh, that's the thing. You said it was an ideal, like to the point where I'm like, hey, I'm saying in the past it was an ideal. These women might like what they're doing now. Because you're telling me, you said, what kind of life is that? It's like, if you don't got no man, I don't know, what you might not be happy.
Oh, I don't mind pushback on that.
I think you might get some pushback on that.
I stand on that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the difference. Yeah. That's the difference. It's like, hey, what kind of like your life is not fulfilled if you don't have a man. I don't know if that's what you're saying, but it can come off that way.
I mean,
and it probably will come off that way now that I mentioned it.
Is it fulfilled though? If you're a straight woman and you don't have a man and you saying you don't need a man, then you either sleeping around with a whole bunch of different men, or you don't have that one man. So you're not getting fulfilled. Are you telling me?
Digging it deeper? You just digging deeper.
Okay,
in it.
so y'all are both telling me that.
You're nothing.
Y'all are both telling me that intimacy isn't a big thing in our lives.
But the thing, yeah, I mean, because I think we all want to be in a monogamous relationship, but there's women that don't want to necessarily be in a relationship where, like, I think even Jason pushed back on, like, because of some of the stipulations that we hear about, you have to take a backseat. I don't want to deal with all that. Like, I can date, I can have fun. I don't really need a man. Like, if I want to be with somebody, if I want to travel with my girls, I can travel with my girls. If I want to go out to dinner, I can find somebody to take me out to dinner.
But you're conflating
if
things.
I want to. Or,
I'm not saying
they
need a man. I'm saying what type of life that would be. And if you are agreeing that everyone who's straight has sexual needs that need to be met, then those two don't go together. You have to have a man, or you're sleeping around.
They're going to want a man. The relationship might not be a monogamous relationship where it's like, hey, I'm with this guy all the time, but like that Jacelyn, she might have a squad. She might have 3-4 dudes. She might have Mike, Bruce, and Pokey right there at it, and that's her squad that she sticks with. So
I think our definition of need a man is different. Then for me, it's like being in a relationship and needing to be with somebody and all that stuff, rather than like, hey, it's Tuesday. I ain't got nothing since last Thursday.
Since y'all saying I'm
let me call somebody.
Since y'all saying I'm digging, if you don't need a man, be a nun. That's how you would shut me up. If you one of those ones that are pushing back, you don't need a man, be a nun, and then I'll agree with you.
I love it. So get some of that heat off me. So, but yeah, I agree with you guys. Truthfully, is I think when you said conflating the two, I really think that's the problem. Is people they conflate the two. They conflate I need a man with I want a man for a relationship, whatever my definition of the relationship I need at that time is. It might not be that monogamous relationship. I'm not trying to get married. I'm not even trying to have a boyfriend. But like I said, I need a dude that I can call and talk to, and I want to be able to talk, friendly type stuff. I need somebody that know how to work on cars and can come, and it might not be a guy. It might be a chick that is my homegirl that just really, really like working in a house and stuff like that, and can come hang my doors and all that stuff or whatever.
You have belittled what a man is. Like, that nigga that hang doors and fixes cars. That's all he's good for, right?
Yeah, that is. I mean, it really comes down to you really only have so many needs, right? And from a relationship standpoint, yeah, I mean, let's boil it down to what it is, right? I need emotional support. I need like physical support and that type of thing, and then I need sexual support. Like those are really the only 3 things that a relationship is going to be providing you, right? I mean, let's boil it all the way down to its finest essence. No, that's what I'm saying, because we just said that they don't need them for financial support. Like that is the thing.
No, that's one of the things. That's one of the things that somebody has to give it. Either you can give it to yourself, or
yes, but you don't need a man to do that. So as a woman, and going back to that whole this whole fall of the black family, kind of back to my question is, I don't think it's a fall of the black family. What I think is it's women being able to be full on adults. Like you said, they can go out and get a job. They can go out and be an entrepreneur. They can go out and they can fend for themselves as an adult. And that really is what we were talking about with the whole independent thing. They can be independent. And live their lives independent of a man. But what it comes down to, like Buff said, is they still have those other things that they need. And really, they can get from other women the two, right? They can have somebody to talk to and be emotionally supportive of them. They can have somebody that can come out and, like I said, fix the car and hang the doors or whatever, like fill in the gaps of the stuff that they can't do physically, right? And then there's the sexual part of it. So really, that's the only thing that they need men for.
So basically,
when you come down to it,
all they need is some.
Okay, well, what about protection?
That's the only thing they need from a man.
Protection?
Everything else they can get from another woman. If we want to just talk through that, like they can get all that other stuff from a woman if they wanted to.
They can get protection from a woman.
The physical, sexual part. They can get protection from a woman. I mean, really? Hey, I know some women that carry that 45 and that, like, hey, we can do what we do.
I mean, but every state
they can get all that other stuff.
I mean, but with taking guns out of it, though, a woman can get protection from her homegirl.
I mean, bruh, you're not with your wife. You're not with your wife 24/7. Like, so you know, it's like
now you picking outliers.
Need you to protect her 24/7.
Answer my question. You picking outliers. A woman can get protection from another woman.
Yes.
Okay, so then...
So you're saying gay women, gay couples, lesbian couples, you're saying lesbian couples don't feel safe?
No, that was your answer. So, taking your answer, we never ever have to ever see again when a woman is getting beat by a man. We never have to hear from another woman criticizing the other men that were around and didn't help. And posting that...
That's a society construct.
Posting that... Let me finish.
They shouldn't.
And posting that comment... This is why we don't feel protected, because they're talking to us when they post that comment. So according to your answer, that comment is null and void now.
It is.
I'm gonna throw a wrench in that. Somebody's gonna say they need protection from other men. So if men weren't being no women, would women need protection if men weren't the problem? Quote unquote.
Well, we need police if there wasn't crime. There are always going to be bad people in our society. Right. There are women that are abusive. So yes, they still would. If no men ever beat, yes. We've had women serial killers before. So yes. But according to Razi,
but
they don't need any protection.
I agree, and I push back. Those women shouldn't be. Those women that are saying that are those women that have been raised in the patriarchy, and what happens is they have been told that they have to be protected by men. So they are already ingrained. Society has told them that a man has to protect them. So that's why they're saying that. So putting my feminist hat on. Yes, they have. Not society. Society has told them
those
that.
Women, you can't put your feminist hat on and then say that these women can't think for themselves and that they've been brainwashed by patriarchy, that they need a man to. That go hand in hand to you?
No. I mean, yes, it goes hand in hand because the society is what the society that you're raised in is what you learn to know. Like that is the whole nature versus nurture. Like you've been nurtured to think those things.
Aren't feminists raised in the same society? Just being a feminist
doesn't mean that you don't sit inside the culture.
So aren't feminists raised in that same society? You fit inside
the culture and you question it. I can't hear you.
Aren't feminists raised in that same society?
Yes.
So they were. The feminists are the only women that were able to think for themselves, and all the other women haven't.
Didn't say that. They've broken out of some norms. That doesn't mean that they've broken out of all norms.
Okay.
they question certain norms. I mean, it's no different than black people who, like, you look at the hoteps that, you know, I'll be like, oh yeah, we're super pro-black, but then we support Trump. Like, they're not mutually exclusive. You can be outside or think outside of the box in one area and still be inside of culture and inside of like social norms and stereotypes in another. You don't just wake up and all of a sudden you're like super wise and like, oh yeah, I'm thinking about everything at the same time. It just doesn't work that way.
I'm glad we ain't had a heated debate in a minute.
I know.
I think most women can think for themselves and they're not brainwashed by patriarchy. But okay.
So Byron, you want people back, Razi? I don't know who they. I just know I'm not the bad guy today. But we still got another question, so let's keep the party going.
Listen, man. You know what? It doesn't. My question doesn't have anything to do with relationships, but because how we disagree, it definitely segues into it. Because my question is this, and I made on our closing comments a few episodes ago, I made the comment that in the next year or so, we may possibly be under a huge microscope, and that I had a conversation with some people who questioned us on some of the comments we've made on past episodes. And while I definitely want the three of us to always stick to our truth, it did make me think, because I've always considered us being very careful in our opinions while tackling tough subjects like we just did. We talked about homosexuality on here and just a lot of, topics that can get people in trouble depending on how you discuss it. And in them questioning me that, it made me definitely think about some things I said. And it brought me to this question here, because so one of the things that they pointed out, I'll point out what they pointed out on me, not you guys. But on like one of our episodes a couple of years ago, I said that I think it was one night trans, if I'm not mistaken. And the question was, would you be mad if you found out that person was born a man and you had sex with them? They had gone through the procedure of becoming a woman. You had sex with them not knowing, and then you find out later, would you be mad? And I said yes, because that's not something that I would want to do, unknowingly or knowingly, whatever, however I want to say it. But I also followed up with saying that I wouldn't put hands on them. And that kind of was my saving grace, because they said, well, you did say that, so we understand where you're coming from. But my larger question is this, just like on Razi's question and how I answered it, is it possible to disagree with something and not be considered hating that? So like, if I say, hey, I don't, I'll say Razi. Razi said he didn't want to go to a gay club because he's not into men. So he doesn't want to even be mistaken for that. Is it fair to take like that little quote without listening to the whole episode? Is it fair to paint Razi as someone that hates gay people? Like, oh, did you hear what he said? He doesn't want to be around gay people, so he hates them. Is it possible to disagree with a hot topic, but not be considered hating it? Because it seems like that's where a lot of the cancel culture comes in at, is that, you state your opinion on something and then the mob comes at you and says, well, that must mean you hate gay people or you hate black people.
I'll jump on this. So I think it's two-part. Yeah, I mean, you should be able to voice your opinion. I think a lot of times where people get upset is when people voice an unwarranted opinion. Like just jumping on here, like y'all should be going to gay club. Like, dog, you could live your life without saying, I don't want to. Until that question came up, I've never been asked, would I go to a gay club? Mm-hmm. So me just making a post about, man, straight men shouldn't be going to gay clubs. You'll never find me in a gay club. Even though that's my opinion and maybe it wasn't meant, but I could see how somebody's like, but why, what does that have to do with anything? If you're being interviewed and you're having a podcast and you're having a conversation on it, voice your opinion. But I think a lot of times people get upset when it's just like, where the hell did that come from? Like nobody asked you about your opinion on gay clubs or what straight men should do. And either way, you still have the right to say what the hell you want to say. But I think people question where that energy comes from or came from. And I don't think anything we've said, it might be because we're literally having conversations about it. But I try not to just throw random conversations or my opinions about stuff, especially if it's taboo or it could be hurtful to other people without.
So Ferg, like, when we started the podcast, nobody asked for our opinion in that at that point. Like, they can be on their social media platform and they're posting their thoughts and opinions and everything like that. But it's the exact same thing as our podcast when it really comes down to it. It's unwarranted or unasked until they bring that up. That's their opinion they want to bring up. Same way we bring up a question that we want to talk about at that point. So I don't think it's because it's unwarranted or unrequested. And Buff, to answer your question, I surely hope that you can have an opinion and have a bad clip and not get canceled or not feel like people are, you're hating on that, because like you said, somebody could take that clip of me saying I don't want to go to a gay club, or that ain't my cup of tea, and people are like, oh look, he hates gay people, without looking at the entirety of that episode or even my history of supporting the LGBTQ community. So it's one of those things that sensationalism sells. And I got him in a hot mic, I got him on a clip, and I'm gonna take it. And of course the opposition's always gonna be, I'm gonna take that clip and I'm gonna doctor it, I'm gonna spin it, I'm gonna take it out, and boom, now I've got something that people can talk to. Because the thing about it is, the people that are listening to the ops, what'll happen is they are gonna be like, see, he hates gay people, and they're gonna run with that. And it takes 50, 100 times more energy for me to go back and say I don't hate gay people, and I have to address that with them and spin it back, when instead of me continuing on with my agenda or where I want to go. So I think, go ahead.
I was going to say, no, I want you to finish your point. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I really think that it comes down to the entirety of what somebody's doing. I don't think we've really ever taken a single clip and said, oh, I'm canceling this person because of this one clip. A lot of times what happens is that one clip might be the camel, or the straw that broke the camel's back, or it might be the thing that like makes us really take a close look. But then when we start seeing, oh, it's a pattern. Oh, they do it all the time. Oh, or it's something so egregious, like there is no spin in it. I can listen to the whole context. I can listen to the video or the audio recording of it, and it's like, oh no, he said it. He meant it. Just like, I'm thinking that he meant it. At that point, yes, he can get canceled. But I don't agree with the idea of cancel culture anyway, because cancel culture is nothing but capitalism in effect. It is us putting our dollars where we think we want to have it. I'm not listening to you. I'm not supporting your platform. I'm not supporting your company if you go against whatever my ideals are. That's just how capitalism works.
Here's the thing.
I think it's deeper than that, though.
It is deeper than that. Here's the thing, because last year Steve Harvey said that he doesn't have any female friends because it's nearly impossible for females and males to be just friends, and he doesn't want that because you're going to wind up cheating. And they tried to cancel him. They tried to say that, oh, well, that must mean you only look at women as an object and you're a predator. They tried to cancel him. So it's more than just where you putting it. There is a segment in our society that will try to rile everyone up to just literally get you fired and canceled. And even with the whole video clip thing, Shirley Sherrod, who used to work at the Department of Agriculture in the Obama administration, Breitbart News, took a clip of what she said, posted it, and the Obama administration overreacted and fired her. Come to find out, because they accused her of being racist and not giving loans to white farmers. Come to find out, she was just using that as an example on why giving loans to everybody in a fair way is the best way to do it. But that was long after she had been fired. So people do it all the times on all levels. And the last thing I want to say is, before you jump in, Ferg, is just taking your example, and I hate to keep using the gay example, but we conflate, black and gay as far as the discrimination that they both face. We conflate both of those two a lot. And so it's innocent for you to say, no, I don't want to go to a gay club because I'm not homosexual. But if a white person said, I don't want to go to a black club, and they just took that clip, they would more than likely feel the heat. And a lot of people would paint them as racist. And so I just think it's becoming more and more difficult to really state your opinion without those that disagree with it not wanting to cancel you. Like, people are not being open to other frames of thoughts.
Yeah, I think I agree with that, but like I said, I mean, every example you gave was the opposition using that clip, and exactly like I said, like somebody would take that clip and say Orazio hates gay people because he doesn't want to party with them. I can see that's the headline, right? That's the Breitbart headline. That's the Fox News headline. That's how it would say, and that's going to happen. But when you go back and you look at the totality of it, there are people that aren't going to look at the totality of it, right? There are
most people won't look at the totality.
Yeah. And so the folks that tried to cancel Steve Harvey, they didn't look at it and say actually what he's saying kind of makes sense in his mind. Like it's not that he only sees women as something or a piece of meat or something, to be conquered, but it's one of those things that he is saying, I don't want to put myself in a situation that it could happen.
But where does it stop, though? I think Byron's two examples at the end are perfect. The fact that you just saying as a straight man who supports the gay community just wouldn't go to a gay club. Is that pretty much what you're saying? Hey, as a white person,
I didn't say I won't go. I just said it's not where, like, I'm not like waking up like I'm going to the gay club.
I think you said you won't go. We have to go revisit
that. I'm not going to debate that. What I'm saying is, if a white person use that saying, I'm not waking up wanting to go to a black club, there's little to nothing they can say to defend that. Steve Harvey just saying, I don't like this. These are my thoughts. And the people he's talking about getting offended and saying, you're putting me in this bubble. This is how you see me. Why do you see me this way? And they don't give a damn about his explanation. Mm-hmm. Just the way, if a white person said the same thing, what could they say to make you look, oh, you just don't go to black clubs because you think they're dangerous, or you don't like black music? What could they say to make you feel like it's okay for them to say that they don't want to go to a black club? There's not anything because there's something negative. There has to be something negative about a black club, and whatever you say is gonna, because I just don't like being around too many black people. The music's too loud. It's dangerous. What could they say to make that not cool? Or make that cool? Excuse me. Yeah, like they the drinks are watered down. I don't know what they're gonna say, but it wouldn't be cool. And the sad thing is, a gay person can feel the same way. I kind of asked you, like, what do you think? They're gonna hit on you? Like, what makes you it's 1,000 people in the club. You're the one person like, oh shit, there go Razi. Let's get them. Like, it's 999 gay people coming after you. It's like, nah, dog. I'm just here. I'm here with my homeboy who happened to be gay. Hit on him. I'm straight. Like, that's not how it goes down. So is there something that we have to, I guess, be careful, because somebody can see it explain your thought process more.
Yeah.
And it's tough.
Even in that, like I talked about, I don't want to go to a mosh pit. Like, and so I think.
But moshers might get offended, dog.
They might be, but the thing is, that's not my scene, right? And truthfully, I feel like, don't act like as black people we don't look at the white guy that comes into the club like, why is that white person here? Because I've seen it, I've heard it from friends, So it's one of those things that you want to be comfortable when you go out and have a party, when you go and party, right? And so, like, I'm not canceling a guy that says I don't go to black clubs or I'm not trying to go to black clubs. Like, me personally, I wouldn't. I'm not canceling that guy. But like you said, there are people that are gonna cancel that person because they say, I'm not going to a club. Now, if it's a white person and he's going with 5-6 other black friends and they all hanging out, he's gonna feel a little bit more comfortable at that point, because he has more friends. He's there with a group. Why
wouldn't he feel comfortable by himself, Razi? Are black people dangerous?
I don't feel comfortable sometimes going to black clubs by myself. It's just because of my PTSD. But the whole point is, no, like, I mean, I don't feel going anywhere by myself, like a club by myself. Like, name a club that you cool.
You probably should get some women to protect you, bruh.
Huh?
You probably should get some women to protect you, bro.
I should.
Oh man, you brought that one home right there.
But I think to your point, it's so easy to have. Everybody has opinions. Everybody has their thought processes, and all of it is not malintent. It's just we have things that we're comfortable with, uncomfortable with, and even if we're uncomfortable, doesn't mean it's necessarily negative. But the world we live in, you best believe that somebody can take it and run with it. The things we said in the last 10 minutes, somebody can take these 10 minutes and flip them.
Yeah. Which kind of goes back to when people talk about politicians and everything being so scripted and or, you know, even actors and like celebrities and stuff, and they're so scripted. That's why they're so scripted. That exactly is why. It's like anything I say outside of this is going to get somebody pissed off. It's going to make somebody mad. And so I'm sticking to the script. I'm sticking to my talking points and, you know, my conditioned responses. And then after a while, it becomes so conditioned that that is your response. It's not even, you're not even being fake at that point. It's like, I know how to respond. Ferg, you're in sales. You know, you've drilled a counter argument or a rebuttal for certain things that people say. It's like, I know exactly how I'm going to respond to this. And it becomes second nature to you. And so those people that are kind of using those kind of stock remarks and those practice remarks, it's because it's been drilled in them because they know that won't piss anybody off. So I'm going to say it this way. And they become rote at that point.
I mean, and we've been doing this podcast almost 2 years. And I mean, that's the thing. I'm pretty sure we'll be listening to the show or during the show, we'll be like, okay, should I have said that? Or I actually should have said this. You know, we go back and question ourselves what we said, not because our opinion has changed. It's just maybe I came off too brash, or maybe they didn't understand me. Last episode, we had 6 people on. It was a lot of, whoa, you got me wrong. And that's life. So, and these are people that we all know that are cool with us. And they still were kind of like, hold on, you said what? So, all righty. I still think I might be the most unhated this show. I ain't gonna say like because they'll never like me.
You the safest.
I'm the safest.
Yeah.
Probably not. Somebody's like, well, Ferg, you think you're safe?
I thought I was good. They both switched it up on this last question. Got me in trouble.
You come down here with me, sir.
Crabs in a bucket, bro. Crabs in a bucket. Oh man, this was a fun show. Fellas, you guys got anything else?
All right. So real quick, I know the talk has been about should we or should we not allow, is it Sha'Carri or Sha'Carri? Sha'Carri.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think Sha'Carri is what I've heard a couple people say, but I don't know for sure.
Sha'Carri Richardson, should we allow her to run in the Olympics? And that's gotten all the attention. What has gotten less attention, I believe, is one of the author of the 1619 Project, Nicole Hannah-Jones. So North Carolina asked her to come chair their race and investigation journalist division or whatever. And that position is usually tenured. And for those of you that don't know, tenure means pretty much almost like a lifetime appointment at a college or institution. Like you have to they want their colleges and professors to have the freedom to say and discuss and teach certain things that can be controversial without, getting pressured to be fired, by people that disagree, kind of like what we just talked about on the podcast. So tenure just gives them great job security. So they offered her the position, but did not offer her tenure. And it's because a lot of conservatives you can almost say that Nicole Hannah-Jones has started this whole critical race theory. And I know we got some listeners that want us to discuss that that might have to be an episode by itself because that's a very deep topic. But because of this 1619 Project and a lot of schools saying, hey, we would like to start teaching this in schools, conservatives have pushed back and it's kind of, spread into this whole critical race theory thing and all the controversy surrounding that. So because of that, North Carolina was not offering her tenure. And so people were fighting on her behalf. She was like, I'm not going to accept the position without tenure. This has been going on for months and months and months. And so finally, because of pressure from faculty and students saying that they were going to leave and stuff, North Carolina, on a vote of 9-4, voted to give Miss Nicole Hannah Jones tenure. Happy ending, right? Nicole Hannah Jones said, "Oh, I really appreciate y'all, but y'all, I'm going to Howard." So I just thought that was real cool. And so congratulations to her. She'll be there with Ta-Nehisi Coates, who I'm a fan of as far as especially Between the World and Me, his book that he wrote. So good for her. She stood her ground and she, got what she wanted in the end and had the power to say, you know what, I got this other position at another school. So the hell with y'all. So congratulations to her.
Yeah.
Welcome to the HBCU life.
Yeah. Talk about HBCUs, man. They are hot right now, and not on a flash in the pan type thing. I really feel like America, and especially Black America, is waking up to the benefits of the HBCU experience. So UAB won me over, but at the same time, that was my second choice, right? I would have been there had not UAB gave me so much money. Really what it came down to. So but it's one of those things that a lot of people, especially that have the ability to go pretty much wherever they want to go, don't even put HBCUs in their top 5 or their top 10. And that is, a travesty. And I'm so happy that people are looking at HBCUs now as a viable, if not a prominent, opportunity.
Yeah. Definitely one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. And I'm going to keep with this. And you actually kind of led me to what I was going to close with and bring up today was FAMU, crazy weekend for us. This weekend, we are celebrating the homegoing of Dr. Frederick Humphries, our president. They had his services. He passed June 24th. Meeting him was part of the reason I decided to go to FAM, outside of the beautiful women. But he just seemed like he was larger than life. His presence, he was the president of FAM when I got there, and one of the most well-renowned Black college professors and presidents in history. He actually was a president when FAMU won the Princeton Review College of the Year. That's what kind of started FAM on a whole nother level. Dr. Humphries, I was glad I was part of the FAMU experience when you were there, and you left shortly after I got there. I think in 2001 was your last year, but to all the Rattlers who listen, to anybody who's come across them, we lost a great one. Every time I think of you, I think about the Rattler strike. So I appreciate you, Dr. Humphries. Be up there hanging out. I know you're doing what you're doing. We really appreciate you and we'll miss you. So outside of that, anything else, fellas? All righty. 3 Brothers No Sense. Listen, like, share, subscribe, and comment. And most importantly, listen again. Talk to you next week.